Hello, welcome back to Biblically Built, and today we are talking about why Christian radio needs music awards and TV award shows. I really think that Christian radio awards put too much focus on the artist and the person making the music versus God. That's the center point of this video. I really just don't see the point of them. I don't see why we need to have them. I don't see why it's so popular or why it's so rampant, I guess. I believe as Christians, Christian men or Christian women, our primary goal is to lift up God's name, not our own name or not anyone else's name. That doesn't mean, I've said this in previous videos, like if you do something for God, it doesn't mean that no one's going to come up to you and be like, hey, that was really good. You guys did a good job. That was solid. That's going to happen. But at the core, your heart's motivation is to build up God's kingdom and not your own. I just don't see how Christian music awards really do that. To me, it seems the entire concept of it is very man-centered. It's essentially the Grammys, but for Christian radio. And God doesn't really get any glory out of us or an artist getting awards for making music about God. It just seems unnecessary and quite useless. Like, there's no awards for spending the most time in prayer each week, or spending the most time Bible reading each week, or making the most videos on YouTube about God. Well, I guess there could be if you include like YouTube awards, like the play buttons and everything, that kind of stuff. But that's kind of a whole different thing. As Christians, it's our duty to point people to Jesus, which is great. But our duty is not necessarily to get a trophy or a plaque or a piece of paper or a certification for doing so. Even the idea of an award is man-centered. The definition of the word award when used as a noun is this: a prize or other mark of recognition given in honor of an achievement. Given in honor of an achievement. What is it focused on? It's focused on what the person has done. And in this scenario, when we're talking about Christian music awards, the achievement would be making the music or making the money, making the album releases, the album sales, the music sales. I don't know how that stuff works. But all the records that can be broken in that industry, I guess. And it's focused on, I guess, lifting this person up for breaking such records, or for just breaking some kind of musical record in the Christian music space, I presume. One of the biggest things that I think about is that Christians can get in the music space, maybe even non-Christians, for the wrong reason. Imagine if there were no Christian music awards. It would be impossible for anyone to get into that industry for the double-minded purpose of just getting an award, of being like, yes, I did something with my talent. If there were no Christian music awards, I think there'd be more Christians in that space who generally just wanted to make music to glorify God and not themselves. I think with an award show or an award system, you can easily draw people in who don't even want to glorify God, but they just want to get some award for their music, which infiltrates the real Christians who want to make music for God, and it gets all mixed in and convoluted, which isn't good at all. Look, I'm not saying I'm against a Christian artist or musician doing well for themselves, or maybe a song is doing well, album is doing well, it's getting sales. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just personally don't see the point of having this big, highly produced show for people to get awards for doing what God has commanded them to do, which is to glorify Him. Then part of it is, are these Christian shows even biblical? I know some of you might be thinking, there are rewards as Christians for serving God, right? Of course there are. There are spiritual rewards here on this earth, and there are rewards in heaven after we die for serving God. That's all true. Does the Bible tell us to sing a new song to the Lord? Yes. Psalm 98:1 says, "Sing to the Lord a new song, for He has done marvelous things. His right hand and His holy arm have worked salvation for Him." So yes, getting a reward is not really an unbiblical thing, right? Getting a reward for doing something for God, or doing something that's biblical, or serving God, that's not unbiblical, getting a reward. what even are the rewards in the Bible? Are they really ever materialistic? Very rarely. You have there are some materialistic type rewards, you could say, like the first command with a reward is to honor your father and mother, and you will live a long life. That's more a reward on this side of heaven, right? Versus a reward that we would get in heaven, like being fully in the presence of God. No pain, no suffering, no crying. Having a mansion in heaven, like the Bible says, streets of gold, no pain, peace, all that great stuff. Most of our reward is in heaven. There's not like a Bible verse that says you shall not have Christian radio shows. You know what I mean? But I just don't see the point in having this like Christianized American Idol kind of vibe with these Christian radio shows, not with these Christian music award shows and all that stuff. Personally, I don't believe these are biblical. So to end this video, I just have some things I want to share that I think could help you, maybe if you also don't agree with these hyper-produced award shows for Christian music. Here's some of the things I would do if I were you. I think that if you don't agree with them and you don't like them, we definitely shouldn't watch them, because that only just supports the whole deal and just kind of keeps the cycle going. So not watching those award shows for Christian music would definitely help to just get it out of your own life, and I guess just to not support it at all, because if you don't believe something is biblical, there's no point in supporting that. The second thing is, let's say these award shows come in to conversation that you have, just daily conversation, or you bring it up in conversation yourself. Don't be afraid to voice your opinion on what you really think about this stuff. Even if it seems controversial to the Christians around you, it doesn't really matter what they think. So just voice your opinion and, defend it as well as you can if they disagree, or maybe they agree with you, and that's great too. Just don't be afraid to voice what you really think about this topic. At the end of the day, I'm not claiming to know everything. This is just what I think on this. It's not really an issue. This is just what I think on this topic, on this subject of Christian, music awards. If you agree with what I'm saying, that's great. If not, that's cool too. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, let's become godly men.